Welcome back. This time we're talking about NBC's new comedy series, The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danza. And this continues a look at a number of new series debuting this fall on network television that have piqued my interest enough to at least watch the first episode and then talk about them. In the case of The Good Place, NBC actually aired 3 episodes this week, 2 on Monday night and then the third episode on its regular night of Thursday. Which I have to say was probably a good idea, because while all 3 episodes made me laugh, the third episode was the one that really kind of set things into motion and kind of gave me a clearer idea of where this might be going. I'm going to talk about all 3 episodes as a group, and I'm going to do so while trying to avoid spoilers. But I do want to talk about the basic premise and where they might take it, because that's going to be the deciding factor for this show for me. The story focuses on a young woman named Eleanor, played by Kristen Bell, who in the opening moments of the series discovers that she had just died. And is now in the afterlife. And she meets her guide for this in the form of Michael, played by Ted Danza. And as he explains it, this afterlife is not exactly the heaven and hell that certain religions were prescribing. As he points out, each religion got about 5% right. But there is a good place and a bad place. And fortunately for Eleanor, she made it to the good place, which is made up of a series of neighborhoods that contain about 200 and something people, who each meet their soulmate and live in a home that's basically been crafted to their wants and needs. The problem, and the basis for this entire show, is the fact that apparently Michael made a mistake, because Eleanor does not belong in the good place. Of course, she only admits this to her soulmate, Chidi, played by Jackson Harper, and basically insanity ensues from there, which consists of a series of quirky looks at this version of the afterlife, which is, I have to admit, is very funny, as well as the insanity that ensues because Eleanor is not supposed to be there. And as I said before, over the course of these first 3 episodes, I found myself laughing a lot, and pretty much equal measures on the quirky and the story comedic elements. Kristen Bell really has a handle on that amoral party girl character, and playing off of the surrounding characters who are almost literally saints because of all the great things they did in their lives. Harper is another standout, an actor I'm not terribly familiar with, but here he plays a professor of ethics who is pretty much tasked with trying to teach Eleanor to be a better person. And really the entire cast is great in these first 3 episodes. My biggest issue with this show, and it has nothing to do with what I've seen so far, is the fact that it basically breaks the cardinal rule of sitcoms when I'm looking for new shows to watch. And that is, don't have a premise that if you solve the primary problem, the show is essentially over. Here we have Eleanor, who is not a nice person, not a good person, but over the course of this show is going to have to evolve into a better person. But if she ever becomes that good person that deserves to be in the good place, it basically breaks the premise and the source of the comedy. Now, I know the show could evolve into something new beyond that, but typically network television doesn't allow their shows that much room to evolve. Now, the show was created by Michael Schur, whose previous creations include Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So hopefully he will be given a little bit more leeway to evolve the show as necessary than maybe a newcomer would. But that's basically my problem. If they try to keep Eleanor that amoral person with no evolution in her character, it's going to get boring. The prime example would be Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. The show's been on the air for almost a decade, and with a few exceptions, Sheldon's basically the same character he was at the beginning, and gets the same laughs he did then. But as a character, while he might make me laugh, he's not someone I would ever want to be around, and is frankly more annoying than anything else. So that's my biggest issue. As long as they allow the show to evolve and allow Eleanor to evolve, the quirky side of this, which is sort of NBC's wheelhouse when it comes to comedy these days, I think will provide plenty of laughs for a long time to come. And this is definitely a show that I'm going to follow. It might not be one that I do a video on each week, because it is a sitcom and I'm not sure how much new information I could talk about in each episode. But there might be a particular episode here or there that just I want to talk about, or at the end where I could just do a retrospective on the entire season and see how it turned out. Either way, this is definitely one I'm going to continue to watch, and I recommend if you haven't actually seen it yet. So if you've seen The Good Place, do you think it has potential, and do you plan on continuing to watch it? As always, you can subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other reviews, and until next time, remember, they are keeping score.